What seemed nice when you were a child, but when you grew up turned out to not be so nice. I used to love to play office and shuffle around papers etc. like I was at a job. Now that I actually do work in an office, not so much fun lol. I used to play school teacher as a kid who thought it would be the most fun in the world. I've been doing it for several years for real now, and while I do enjoy it, it's not the same kind of fun. To remind myself, I keep hanging on my classroom wall a photograph of the 6-year-old me explaining something on a child's blackboard. Getting dizzy. We had an uncle who was tall and strong and would spin us around one by one. We couldn't get enough. I remember after my spin, I'd just laugh as I couldn't keep my balance and watch the world spin. Now, I avoid getting dizzy like the plague. I spin my nieces around cause they think it's hilarious. Poor old Uncle me has to sit down for a bit afterwards. But you better believe I'll keep doing it. Edit. Didn't expect this to go cocoa bananas. Thanks for the award too. I swam in some bodies of water as a kid that seemed fine, but looking back, adult me would never get in that water. Edit. Spelling. Just the other day I drove past a lake I used to play in as a kid in Florida. It's more like a swamp. No inflow, no outflow. Just a stagnant pond/swamp. It's a miracle we didn't die of brain amoeba. Money. $5 was like $1.0000000 back then. Now I get paid $2K and it's gone in bills right away. True story. $5 could get you from Catskill to New York City in 1996. As long as you were driving a Hyundai Excel. Unlimited ice cream with no one telling me to stop before my stomach hurts. My most adult moment so far, other than getting married, divorced, married again, and having 2 children, is when I decided that I'm an adult, goddammit, and I can buy a chocolate shake and a banana split from Dairy Queen if I want to. I now know my dairy limit. When I was a child I was told that a lot of people would be offering me drugs. Now that I want to try drugs no one is offering them. A popular girl complimented me on my shoes. My mom had just gotten them for me from Old Navy and I thought they were really cool. Were they really expensive? She asked. Were they like? She dropped her voice. $20? I smiled back, thinking it was cool that she must be responsible enough to buy her own clothes, cause I certainly didn't in grade 7. I nodded and said they were $19.99. Yeah. She smiled and walked away, and I was so excited to have been complimented by a person who was not only popular, but also a girl, that I wrote about it on my Harry Potter calendar and told my mom that the cool kids liked my shoes. It was earlier this year that I thought back on this nice memory and went, wait, ignorance is bliss. I'm glad you were happy for a while though. Getting mail. If available, get the delivery notifications for mail. USPS has it. That sends you an email every day of what mail you are getting. That way you can know when it is time to pack the car and head to the woods to avoid those bills. As a child, I loved looking at the lobsters in the grocery store. I thought they sold them to be pets. Imagine my horror when I found out they are sold to be boiled alive and eaten. My dad brought home lobsters one time. As a kid, it was a magical day. We selected the lobsters, brought them home, and got to play with the forbidden creatures from the grocery store for a while on the kitchen floor. Then, we were sent out back, because it was the 90s and that's what happened as a kid, and when we came back, dinner was ready. It took longer than I'd like to admit to connect those dots. Earning money. Don't get me wrong, I like earning money just like everyone else. But it sucks that the majority of a paycheck can be spent on Nerf guns and Legos. My Lego collection would like very much to disagree with you. Eating fast food and ramen noodles when you want gets old pretty quickly. Found this out the hard way at university. Looking back, I think that's one of the reasons why my mental health took a turn for the worst. Being a grown up. I wish I could shrink down to the time I didn't have constant internal problems. Snowstorms. As a kid you're all yay no school, and you get bundled up and go outside and make snow angels and have snowball fights and go sledding and run around the whole goddamn day and come inside and mom has a grilled cheese sandwich and bowl of tomato soup. As an adult, oh fuck, I have to shovel the driveway and the goddamn sidewalk. And then having to reshovel the end of the driveway when the plows come by and cover it up. And if you go out in your car, there's a bunch of cheeseheads who only scrape the snow off the front windshield and the others who ignore the fact that road conditions aren't suitable for going 80 ducking miles per hour anymore. Getting up early and listening to the radio as the announcer reads off the lists of closed schools. A lot of kids walked to school or had their parents drop them off. I later found out that was the main reason we usually just got 1 hour or 2 hour delays. Closed, ask all 1 hour delay, closed. High heels. It's not that they're not nice, just not practical for my daily life. I always wanted to grow up faster, so I could steal some of my mum's really pretty heels. I thought they looked like the prettiest, classiest things and couldn't wait to wear some. Oh my god, the first time I wore a pair, I about wrecked my knee and twisted my ankle. Never mind the absolute agony my heels were in by the end of the day. Duck that noise. Staying up all night. I used to want to stay awake all night and play video games. Now if I'm awake past midnight, it takes me 2 or 3 days to recover. I regularly fall asleep between 3 and 4 am. Please help my ducked up sleep schedule. D. Moon shoes. Those duckers almost killed me like 20 times, but I loved them when I was child and was oblivious to just how dangerous they are. As an adult, I'd still love the chance to try a pair of jumping stilts, but the cost is high and so is the chance of me seriously injuring myself. I'd also like a crack at one of those water-powered jetpacks. I grew up in an extremely religious community that I only later found out had a lot of cult-like features. There were a lot of things that I thought were normal or even kinda great when I was a kid. Turns out television screen isn't actually the devil's device that it uses to enter your body. Holy chiz, are we siblings? My mom told my ex that the scary movie she brought over on DVD would open a portal to hell and allow demons to enter her home, so we weren't allowed to watch it. Edit. Mobile. I got a ton of questions, so I figured I would clarify. My mom is Christian and fully believes that media is a gateway to evil. Lucifer lead the music while in heaven, and he still uses music today to influence people. The movie was Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds. We would have watched it in my room, so she wouldn't have actually seen the movie. Not that that changes anything. A lot of you mentioned you have moms/aunts that are the same way with Harry Potter and Pokemon. That just made me laugh, because you mean actual magic and pocket monsters, right? My mom walked in on me playing Pokemon on the PC at 16, and we had a long conversation about how that still wasn't acceptable behavior under her roof. The nice old men who offered me desserts and candy. You think I'm joking, but I can clearly remember a few times guys would come up and offer me candy or giving me money for dessert and then winking and saying to meet in the parking lot. Was definitely not the smartest kid. I've shared this story before, but when I was around 10 years old I was sleeping over at my best friend Juan's house. We usually stayed up really late playing and would sleep in until like 11 or 12, which I loved because I rarely got to do that at my house. At about 8 am his dad comes into the room and tells me to get dressed because he needed my help. His dad was a big drinker, so either his breath reeked of beer from last night or he had one for breakfast. Either way he was a bit buzzed. He tells me he needs my help picking out a toy for Juan as a surprise and we were going to drive to Walmart. So we get in the car and drive down to the Walmart, which was like 10 minutes away from his house. It was a pretty awkward ride, and he starts asking me questions to make small talk, like how I was like school and if I had a girlfriend yet. We get to the Walmart and he takes me to the toy section and asks me what I think Juan would like. I walk around and see Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. Juan and I were huge Star Wars fans and even went to go see Empire Strikes Back in theaters when it was re-released, so I knew he would like it. He buys the toy and then we have another awkward car ride back. He thanks me for helping and asks me to keep it a secret. I changed into my pajamas again and tried to go back to sleep, but about 10 minutes later his dad comes in and surprises him with the toy and gives me a wink. At the time I thought it was such a nice thing for his dad to do for him, but years later I found that the reason we went on this mission to get the toy was because he had been really drunk a couple of nights before and hit Juan, so he wanted to make it up to him. As far as I know that was the only time that ever happened, but still made the whole thing weirder than it was. And probably drove drunk with you in the car to Walmart. Those handcuffs in my mum's nightstand drawer. That buzzing manage thing next to the handcuffs in my mum's nightstand drawer. Eating a whole cake in one sitting. It was the dream. I should have learned from Matilda that it was a nightmare. My whole life, cakes were reserved for birthdays and special occasions. See a yummy cake in the store? Maybe you can get it on your birthday in 2 months. A couple of weeks ago I realized that I'm a full-grown adult and I can buy cake whenever the hell I want to for whatever reason or no reason at all. It has been a good couple of weeks. Food from McDonald's. Growing up as a middle-class child, Taco Bell, McDonald's, and other fast food were primo, top-tier luxury goods in my kid brain. Now, I'd rather get a nice meal at a sit-down place, which in this age, is more of a risky luxury than anything else. Living on a farm. I begged and begged my mom to buy a farm and have horses etc. I have never even liked to literally get my hands dirty, though a horse would be nice. I was cured when someone moved into the neighboring farm and everything they owned was dirty, and the kids always had to help out with something on the farm. I grew up on a farm. I had a hard time doing chores outside as a kid with my OCD, but now that I'm an adult I love the farm life and everything that comes with it. Having big boobs. In elementary school I wanted to grow up to have big boobs because I thought that meant I'd be attractive. Now I'm fat with G-cups and back problems. Careful what you wish for. I had triple DS, got a breast reduction, and it has transformed my life. Eating crayons. The blue ones still have a place in my heart. 3. The desire to be famous. I never understood why kids wanted that. I knew by like age 9 being famous sucks. Your privacy is taken away. Nosy busybodies entertain themselves gossiping about your private business, and you're recognized everywhere you go. You can't just be a regular person. My mom acting like a teenager / friend. We thought it was awesome as kids. It's not so awesome when you are an adult. I hate that my parents are so emotionally detached. The most simple things like talking to me about how they feel and having a normal relationship is instead a grueling task of listening to their passive-aggressive opinions. It's like him talking to a stranger. Disney. I used to think of magic and dreams coming true. Now I just think of copyright legal teams, acquisitions of companies, messing with Star Wars, and another streaming service to deal with. Quantity. Quality friends stuck a while, but finally figured out the latter is definitely better. Spending my holiday without any friends, who even give enough of a chiz to text back. I can have both quality and quantity of people who never return my messages. What the hell are friends anyways? Other people. I'll raise you. My father. He was like my hero. Now I realize he was, and still is, just a horrible human being. Wish I could have seen earlier on. Getting mail addressed to me. Yep. Since the advent of email, texting, and social media, the only mail I ever get anymore is bills, junk, and more bills. Deleted. Your mom bathing you. Your mom bathing me, however, is every bit as titillating. Cereal. So good as a kid. Then between 14 to 16 you start to just feel all the sugar on your teeth and throat. Cheerios won't do that. Cheerios are loyal. Going on long outings or weekend trips to the beach or lake. As a kid I didn't have to worry about anything. Just take my damn self and my bathing suit and have a blast. Eat when the food was ready and get in the car and power out on the way home and wake up the next morning in your bed somehow. Now, as a parent you gotta do all the things. The packing, shipping, cleaning, unpacking, cooking, carrying the kids from the car to the house. It's exhausting. Never thought about that as a kid. And hey, I'll keep doing it because my kids have fun and so do we, but man, there's a lot of chiz that goes with those trips, haha. Yep, my husband is a big fan of camping. We have a few spots we hit up for a week or 2 each year. Boy, Did I get a huge reality check once we started camping with our children? It got to be so overwhelming and exhausting for me that one day I simply refused to do it anymore. We still camp though, but now my husband does all of the work, planning, shopping, prepping, cooking, cleaning. It's a great system for us. He likes doing it in the wild, and I get an actual vacation. Adulthood. Sure, it has got its perks, but I would have enjoyed childhood a lot more had I known that being an adult also sucks a lot of the time. I gotta say, I feel the exact opposite. I love being an adult. I hated school, even though I was pretty good at it. Grew up in a super small town that wasn't even big enough to have a gas station, and haven't ever had a really good relationship with my parents. Know that I'm an adult. I go to a job that I love, live wherever I want with my awesome spouse, can have the friends that I want instead of just the friends I was geographically aimed to. I control my life and it's awesome. Snow. I never got to see it much as a young kid, but now that I'm older I wish we didn't have snow, because I'm the one who is forced to shovel it all the time. It sucks. Bill Cosby. He seemed so nice at the time. Eating whatever you want. I wish someone was telling me not to eat a whole box of popsicles for breakfast. No one is here to stop me from getting extremely unhealthy. I'm probably much too late, but don't eat a whole box of popsicles for breakfast. Going shopping for groceries. I thought it was some revered job of high importance, and that he who picks the food is that of a god, and gushed whenever I was allowed to pick something out. My first time going to the store by myself to buy milk or butter, I expected to feel like a king. These days, after I get home from a long day and open my fridge to find nothing with which I can make some sort of meal out of, I grunt before grabbing my keys to drive the 1.5 miles of road to the store to buy something. I actually love grocery shopping. Watching porn without incognito. I was a dumb child, I didn't even know what that was. Back in my day we watched porn by downloading the clips over 56k connections and watching them with Real Player in QuickTime. Took 45 minutes to download a 45-second clip. Life. Water parks. Amazing how you're able to ignore the floating band-aids and diapers as a kid. The wave pool was still dope. Christmas. I couldn't wait for it as a kid. Now I can't stand it. 1000% I do not like Christmas at all, and activity try to get out of it. But I think, if I ever have kids it will be fun again. Life in general. I thought it would be fun, and now it's nothing but absolute pain and torture. I hear that loud and clear. Fireworks. Now I want to sleep and not have my dog freak out for hours. Birthdays used to be a fun time of year, celebrating that all the new things that you could do. Now they remind me of how little time I have left on this planet, and that I won't be able to do all the things that I wanted to as a child. Like, find out if there is a cutscene if you collect all the Pokemon Yellow edition on the Gamma Boy and whatnot. I try to think of it as a marker that Jay survived. I had a traumatic teenagehood and was suicidal for a long time. Having a birthday is so incredible to me now because it means I'm actually still alive. Being a girl. Yup, I can verify that. Staying up late. I don't know what I thought happened after midnight, but I learned by 3 AM that it wasn't worth staying up to wait for. As a teen I thought it was so fun to pull all-nighters watching YouTube series and then rock up to school half dead. No care in the world. Only in my mid-20s now, and I feel like I need 3 full days to recover from it whenever it happens. Actually, in my opinion, everything became way better than expected. But my childhood was also very hard, so I'm glad that I can enjoy life now. Yeah, I became disabled at 16, so adulthood has been weird, but it's still better than the years 5 to 11. Mostly because I barely remember a lot of those years due to trauma. Whoops. Chisty childhoods make even challenging adulthood less bad. Having a large house and yard. Seemed cool as a kid, but as an adult it's a lot to clean and do tons of yard work, or pay someone to do it. I've never had a house with a yard. As a child I was envious of American houses with yards. As an adult I can only think it's more and more chores. Buffets. This needs more attention. As a kid, you feel like you just walked into heaven. As an adult, I can't enjoy anything because I know too much. Online random chat sites like Omegle. I actually use Omegle to increase my typing speed. I came up with some choose your own adventure style stuff that I use when I find an actual person who is willing to play, that is. It can be a lot of fun, and it forced me to go fast because most people don't have patience to wait for slow typing. People. I remember in 3rd grade I was selected at random in my class to dress up an electronic pig and make them compete in a hula hoop elimination fight. Pigs were placed in the ring, and the first pig out of the hula hoop lost. It seemed like 2 kids were selected from every class and every grade in the elementary school. Me and my partner battled other pigs for a few hours, and eventually our pig actually came out on top and won the entire contest. For our victory we were given an all expenses paid trip to Wendy's in a limousine. Edit. I posted this from a new account I made that's safe for work. That's why it's the first post I've made. I'm happy to see I'm not one of the only people who have this sort of memory from childhood. Lol. What the duck was that? This is kind of the reverse of your question, but getting practical stuff for Christmas. Like as a kid it was all about toys, but now I love getting new t-shirts when I need them, or an extra desk organizer, and maybe get an occasional special something that pertains to my hobbies, but mainly I like getting stuff that I really need / will use. All the touching from adults. What? Touching from adults is way better as an adult. Sleeping on the couch. My mom's brothers turned out to just be racist assholes. They were fun till I was an adult and I understood the world. Cool parents that let us children have anything under their nose. They were neglecting my friend. Getting mail. As a kid you think it's all postcards and pen pals, till you realize it's just bills, junk and bad news. A lot of desserts and snacks that are a big deal for kids taste like a vaguely sweet paste as an adult, or airy crunchy nothing. Just bland and sweet. Recently, I had a Good Humor brand Reese's ice cream bar, and one of those long plastic snack packs with the breadstick crackers and cheese whiz thing. It was like a LaCroix. I kept biting into it and all I got was like, yeah, I think I can see how they were going for a hint of an inspiration of something in the neighborhood of a dairy flavor here. Major letdown for both. I'm absolutely convinced that the big name snacks used to taste awesome, but were cheapened over time until they became nothing but husks. Spanking, but the other way around. Same with naps. Religion. When you're a kid religion means you gotta be good, but it's okay if you mess up cause Jesus loves you. As you get older it slowly turns into if you duck up even once you're a piece of chishoss going to hell. Also if you're different from us in any way shape or form we will ostracize you until you leave us, then blame you for it. I'm really glad I stopped caring about going to church / other church members' opinions of me and just started pursuing religion in my own way. I'm so much of a better person now. I think candy or sugar filled stuff, because back then I could eat a ton and not feel poorly, but now if I eat something like that I feel gross in a way. When my dad took me and my brother to Melbourne for like 4 months, I vaguely remember playing in the bushes with a toy gun. Found out not so long ago that my dad had actually kidnapped us from my mum. I don't know why he came back, but I'm so glad he did, as mum got us the hell away from him. Mum, remember when we came back she found me, free, in the bathtub with a razor and cuts all over my body. I'm suspicious that I was abused while taken. I've been masturbating since that age and apparently that's not ducking normal at all. But my memories are so suppressed, I don't want to unlock them. Hey man, I hope you are doing better now. If you ever feel stressed or bothered by these traumatic events, I recommend seeing a therapist. Do what you think is best for you in life. Walt Disney came here for this. That mouse is evil. This isn't really when I was a child, but in high school I loved getting drunk with my friends. I loved to get drunk while in college too. Now I can only stomach 1 or 2 beers a week at most. Crime is the ultimate spice. The idea that my parents were the world to me and I had to live up to their expectations, when really I should live my life the way I want to and make myself happy. Fireworks. But now with an infant and a scared dog, 4th of July is my least favorite holiday. I can't stand it when people light them in the middle of the street in a neighborhood. I get 4th of July, and sure, fireworks are the thing to do, but don't do them until 3 AM every day of the week. Spend your money on something smarter. I only got fireworks at 9 PM on 4th of July. Lucky me. Going to bed at 3 AM. I'm so tired, please kill me. Milo and Otis. Loved that movie as a kid until I found out about the animal abuse. My cool next door neighbors. 3 generations of what seemed like cool compared to my strict mom. They were weed smokers and super chill about everything. Not a huge deal to anybody. Sockle. But then my mom chilled out during my teen and adult years, and I realized that that family is royally ducked up. Drug abuse, cocaine and meth, I think, with multiple family members going to rehab and or getting in trouble with the law. Major underlying psychological issues and intrafamilial backstabbing made me realize I want nothing to do with that family. Washing dishes. It seemed so fun when I was younger. Who would have known it was a trap? This certain line in Macarena. The line is, if you're good then I'll take you home with me. I always thought that she was a really nice woman who would be my mother, but you know, that's not the case. My parents. Disney. Cokes. I weep for my ruined mouth, but my dentist is all get you in here, girl. We still got a dozen root canals you need done. Cox. I weep for my ruined mouth, but my dentist is all get you in here, girl. We still got a dozen root canals you need done. American history. Before you flame, I still think America is a great country, and furthermore it's been great as chiz for me. Really and truthfully never had a hard day in my life. But, I remember history classes as a child being all peachy keen. I'm a history buff, and when you actually learn about it, so messed up stuff happened. Learn history, y'all. People, especially adults. I always thought they were smart enough to be nice and understanding. That turned out to be very untrue. Edit. There are definitely still a lot of nice people. I just thought everyone would be nice. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's fucking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.